Well, a happy Saturday afternoon to you folks. A Game 7 Saturday afternoon. What a day of hockey it is going to be. Welcome to the Liberty Smart Security live stream here on Got Your Back. You know, if you want to protect your house, your family, your belongings, Liberty is the choice to get the job done. They use the latest technology, but they do so with ease, and they make it simple. On top of great products, they're also the #1 reviewed and referred company in Canada. This is a national company, but it's based here in Edmonton. They're founded by massive hockey fans. Great group of people over there. I've trusted Liberty to have my family's back for the last 6 years, and definitely encourage you to do the same. And as you can see, they got a great promotion on right now. If you call 1-866-926-7233 and use the promo code Oilers97, you will get 4 months free monitoring. All right, time to get this game set up. Looking forward to today's live stream as we welcome Joaquin Gage live. We've got video of Gager and Terry Ryan, who has been our guest analyst for this entire series, on the telephone. One of the stars of the new show Shoresy, which just debuted the other day on Crave. First couple of episodes are available, and it is amazing. Loving it so far. TR, starting with you, buddy. I know you guys had the premiere yesterday. So are you a hurting unit today? How are you doing, my friend?
Thanks for having me again. Yeah, I am a hurting unit today. We had the premiere last night, but it's my old stomping grounds, and I absolutely love Montreal. So I was up 8 o'clock in the morning down on the pedal boats. I just can't get enough. I mean, a bit of a hangover is... I can deal with that. You know, I go home to Newfoundland tomorrow, which is great, but you know, you don't have the luxury to drive.
Nice.
You know, when I go on a flight, I take advantage of my opportunity.
Yeah.
That way, so it's been a great day.
There's a bit of serendipity here because I don't know if the two of you have ever met or met many times, but Gager, you were roasted last night for charity. I want you to tell us about the event, but the other amazing thing about this event is that Turan Sandwith is a good buddy of Terry Ryan's, and so he got TR to chime in on your roast last night. How was that, buddy?
Well, it was quite a night, Ryan. Let's I can say that at least. I was quite humbled by the whole event. And yeah, Terry was kind enough to put together a nice little video clip. Well, I can't really repeat a lot of the things that he did say about me, but Terry, I want to say you did a really good job, but the stuff that you said, I want to say it sucked because you didn't see it, but I can't. It was so good, Ryan. I'm still reeling from a lot of the jokes because you know how you hear some and they're funny and they roll together, and Terry had some sort of comparison with me and RuPaul. I can't say it on here, but man, Terry, it brought the house down. It brought the house down, that joke. And I want to say thank you. And I guess you're welcome for getting your career back on track when we played in junior in PA. I didn't know I did that. I'm sorry that I'm kind of a little bit disappointed, actually, because your career went so far off the rails after I teed it up for you. I thought you were destined for greatness after that. But no, you were awesome, Terry. It was so good.
What is that story? What is that story, TR?
Well, Sandman asked me to do a road. Yeah, I met Gager years ago. Sandman asked me to do a road. So a few years ago, we were out there. There was a charity. I can't remember what it was. It was an alumni thing, a charity, maybe Heart and Stroke, something like that. And Sam, we were going to do roast then. And Sandman brought it up. I said, you know, if you ever get a chance to do it, I'd love to. You know, I do them at home with my buddies. But, I didn't know how big this was. Where was that held, Gager?
JW Marriott. So it was a big deal, man. You're the good promotion. I was about to get, because I don't have Crave, you know, and I was all ready to get my subscription all fired up. But after what you said to me, I canceled. I'm not watching that thing.
Well, first of all, so I didn't realize, I mean, I knew it was going to be something. I just figured a bunch of buddies in a room. So because I was really nonchalant about it, I recorded it out back while I was cleaning up my yard, to be honest with you. And when Sandman was sending me pictures, I realized, wow, there's a bit of cloud here. There's a lot of people. So I was like, I hope this goes over okay. And, you know, yeah, most stuff you can't repeat, but why can you at a roast? Yeah, and some things were said right. I don't think I can repeat any of the jokes. The first one, though, yeah, I scored a couple of goals. I don't even remember them, to be honest. But I scored a couple of goals on Gage when he was 19. I was 16 in the league.
Yeah.
And it was always like I remember it distinctly because Prince Albert was like another planet when you came from Tri-Cities. The West Division and the East Division were so different in the Western League. It was like two different leagues. Right? I mean, I can't imagine going from Portland to Prince Albert, for example. It would have been, like I said, like a different planet. I was fascinated with that with the Western League, but we only go over there once a year, right? Like Tri-Cities was about 30 hours to Brandon, like, if I remember correctly. So, you guys both play. You know what it's like. The people I'm talking to know all about it. But so I remember every game in Prince Albert because it was only 3.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, those were some long bus rides, but I'm glad you were able to do that for Gager. Kids Sport was the charity that was benefited. Nielsen, I hear, did a great job hosting it. Good for you, Gager. It's not easy to stand in there and have your life, your soul, your essence, your very being absolutely torn to shreds by people who you thought loved you. So we give you nothing but credit for standing in there for charity, my friend.
Well, yeah, it was great. I mean, everyone did a great job. Terry, I heard you wrote some things for or helped out Sandman a little bit, and I picked Sandman to do that because he has so much trouble stringing sentences together, and he actually did quite a good job. So your tutelage worked quite well with old Turan Sandwin.
I'm really happy that it went over well. Right? Looking back, had I known that there was that many people in that big a stage, I don't know that I would have said some of those jokes. But I'm glad it went over well. And I got to be honest, I don't know, man. It's hard to embarrass me. Things usually I roll with the punches, but I don't know if I would want, all my buddies up there roasting me. I don't know if I would want that. It would be overwhelming, but so way to go.
Yeah, full kudos. All right, guys. Listen, I understand off the top of the live stream we had a few audio issues, and we're still working our way through the technical side of doing live streams here. People know that here on Got Your Back. We kind of let our technical errors just sort of hang out there. But I guess we were silent off the beginning, so I'll just remind people that the live stream today is brought to you by our good friends over at Liberty Smart Security. Just an awesome company. I've used them for the last 6 years to look out for my family. I got an awesome system here at the house, all kinds of technology that they have that can keep you and your family safe. And if you use Oilers promo code Oilers97 and give them a call, they'll give you 4 months of free monitoring. So TR, I want to get to Shoresy, but maybe we'll wait till the back end because I think Oiler fans are probably like, enough crap, you guys. Let's start talking some hockey. It's a Game 7 tonight, you guys. Like, this is the moment. And so it is time to tee it up, and we will do so brought to you by our friends at the Quarry Golf Course. It's now open, 27 holes of golfing awesomeness. If you haven't ever been there, definitely worth taking a look. They've got a great facility. I love the practice facility, and guys, they've got really awesome carts. I need to have a nice golf cart. It makes a difference for me. Nice, comfortable seats, lots of places to put all your stuff. I don't know. That's just one of those quirky things I have to have when I am golfing. So let's get to the game tonight. What I can tell you guys is that at the morning skate today, there was no Leon Draisaitl and there was no Brett Kulak. Now, the Kulak one surprised us a little bit. We weren't sure what was going on with him. We all know that Draisaitl is banged up. But, Harry, I will start with you. First and foremost, how big a hole will this be if Leon Draisaitl either isn't available or is significantly diminished?
Yeah, That makes me nervous if I'm an Oilers fan because, well, first of all, usually like things look good other than that because generational players, of which Edmonton have at least 2, usually find a way to get it done. Go back in history and, they usually get the bounce. I know it's a close game. There's a lot of parity, but Crosby finds a way to score the Olympic winner. Lemieux finds a way in '87 to get that Canada Cup. Gretzky, all the Michael Jordan, all the best in any sport tend to rise to the occasion. So to not have one of them in a Game 7 would be extremely important. I don't even think you could stress that enough. If they have him, I think even if he's hurt, it looks good. I have confidence in Leon Draisaitl. I know that times he can be streaky, but I think he's a passionate player, and I think he'll get it done. And I do think he'll play. I mean, you're out of that. If he doesn't play, then that's worrisome for more than one reason for me. Not only is he not in the game, but if he doesn't play, it means he's really hurt. Who of that importance doesn't play for Game 7? So, you got to start planning. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but if he doesn't play, guys, I don't want to be depressing to the fans, but it doesn't look good to me.
Gager?
Yeah, I mean, that's a massive hole. Everyone knows what Leon Draisaitl means to the Edmonton Oilers, but man, looking at Kulak, I'm more worried about him if there's something wrong with him. I think it's probably just a maintenance or just not wanting to get out on the skate. But if there's something wrong with him, he has played by far, I think, is the Oilers' best defenseman in this series. His mobility, and I think, his calming presence out there with the puck and his ability to make plays. I love it, Ryan. I think he's a really, really valuable player. Just looking at the last game, just his physicality and that experience that he brings from the run last year, right? He's been in this situation before. Having more guys that have been in this situation are going to help some of the younger ones get through this. The calming presence. That's the one that bugs me. With Leon, though, I mean, he's really hurt, I think. Use him in offensive situations mostly, I think, tonight is all you're going to get from him. That looked like a very nasty takedown, and I think he was already laboring from a previous injury.
Yeah, the good news was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was very good in the face-off circle last game. I think he was 7-1 or something like that. So if Draisaitl isn't available or isn't as strong on his feet, Nugent-Hopkins can chip in a little bit there. It's kind of funny, you guys, at playoff time, the pursuit of answers from the head coach. And so I had a little jousting today with Jay Woodcroft, trying to get some answers on his lineup. Here it is.
What's the status on Leon Draisaitl for tonight?
Yeah, I think the other day we were in LA, and I said that I really liked how eloquently Todd put it from their practice facility, that it's just that time of year, guys. Not commenting on lineups or anything like that, just that type of year. I thought it was really well put by Todd.
So because we have emails to send and such, are we saying game time decision on him and Kulak, or what would you recommend we say?
Ryan, I can't control what you put in an email.
Fair enough.
So the head coach. And by the way, I was asking the question tongue in cheek, and he knew it and slapped me upside the head a little bit, which is always fun. But the secrecy, TR, at playoff time, hey?
Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of the business, though. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. And if I was in his position, I wouldn't want to reveal too much either. But even going back to your first question, not to dwell on it, but, Draisaitl, if you can even use him on the power play,
Yeah.
So Kulak, you're right. Kulak was a surprise. And I think, you notice a lot of people don't pick his route a lot. Like, a lot of players, I don't know, I used to notice, let's try to, Scruggs was kind of like that, give it that was due. There are guys that when you have the puck, when you look up and you're forward, instinctively, there's two defensemen usually. You're skating up the ice, so it's often the routes that you don't take, and those players are very important, right? A lot of people just don't go down Chara's side because it's harder. I find Kulak has a presence like that. It's hard to put my finger on it, but I know what Gage is getting to. He's very important, almost underrated important. And I think the obvious, I mean, you want Leon Draisaitl to play, but that's worrisome to me as well. Now, I don't want to beat the depressing Derby here. I think that the team is very, I think that as far as momentum and emotion go, I don't think they could be in any better of a place. I don't think they're going to come out stale. I think that tonight you're going to see all the Edmonton Oilers have, and it's it's usually the flip of a coin, but I like the odds, Draisaitl or not.
I wonder how much longer it's going to go where you pose a question like that, Ryan, and they're going to have to answer, because the amount of betting sites that are on in commercials, like they're going to have to do something with all these in-game bets and like they're to hedge your bets properly. They're going to have to divulge some of this information, whether a player is playing or not before game time.
Yeah. Yeah, when Gary Bettman was here, some people asked him that question too, and it's because obviously with the NFL, it's such a huge thing. It's becoming a bigger thing with the NHL. It's only going to get bigger and divulge. These betting sites want to be able to provide accurate information, and there's money on the line now. So maybe down the way, those rules stiffen up a little bit. The Oilers admitted, Gager, in game one that the moment was a little too big for them. They were nervous, just probably too much energy, too fired up with the fans. A little bit too much of all of that. Connor McDavid today addressed, dealing with all of that in what will be an even more raucous Game 7 as we go to the Average Joe's sound box. Remember, if you're looking for a place to watch the game tonight, think about Average Joe's on Baseline Road next to Home Depot. It's a great spot, massive TVs, good food and beverage, great atmosphere. Here's Connor McDavid.
Goes on guy to guy. If you're a guy that feeds off the crowd's energy, then use it. If you're a guy that likes to keep it a little more quiet in your head, then quiet it down. It doesn't, it's going to be loud. Obviously, we love our fans and we hope the building gets absolutely rocking, and I'm sure it will be. And, but like Nursey said earlier, it's just hockey and we got to go win a game.
So I was noticing some little things. In Game 5 at home, they came out of the tunnel, and Zach Hyman was so slow. Just an easy little lap. Just took it easy. Crowd's going bananas, and you could tell he was calm. An easy little lap. McDavid shot out of the tunnel like he was blasted out of a cannon and did his usual sprint 2 laps. I wonder, Gager, this crowd is going to be like nothing some of these guys have ever seen before. They've already kind of missed the mark in terms of channeling that properly. That'll be a challenge for them tonight, I think.
You think it'll be a challenge? I can see why Game 1 was a challenge, Ryan, just because there's a lot of the players with the Oilers that have been through the past 2 years of, let's face it, a lot of playoff disappointment. I think there was a lot of pent up energy and getting into the playoffs and having a good start in Game 1, and it didn't manifest the way they wanted to. I think throughout this series, much kind of like the Oilers' regular season, there's been some highs and lows in this playoff series, and I think they're looking towards the peak. I think of this series, the way they're playing and the way they are right now. Yeah. I don't think that the crowd, it's great. The crowd's going to be awesome, but I think the Oilers are now at a point where, if you hear what he said, the crowd's going to be great, but they're more focused on themselves and their game, and I think they're able to distinguish between the two now. You're going to get jazzed up, of course, when you hit that ice, but I think they're to a man now with a little bit more experience that focus will be narrowed and more put towards the game.
What kind of start are you expecting, TR?
I'm expecting them to come out. Well, first of all, as far as personal, before the game, you were saying how they get prepared with Hyman versus McDavid. Everybody's different, so that to me, I would be in the dressing room and embraced whatever way that you got to get ready as a player. Go ahead and do it. Some guys read books, some guys listen to tunes. Some guys are down, some guys are up. But I think in general, I would think the Oilers being at home with that crowd behind them, and to me, there's always an ease, there's a calmness in the Game 7. Because that, you can't do anything about it. If you lose, it's over. It's pack your bags. And if you win, that's all done now. Turn the key, that series is over and on to the next one. There's calming finality to it. And if you're the home team, I think it's easier to embrace, not only for in an average situation, but I think in this situation, the Oilers or the Kings have a lot of rookies. And I know that you can feed off energy, but for me, to be honest with you, being in a Game 7 on the road in any league that I was a rookie, whether it was junior or the AHL or, my short experience in the NHL, we were in a couple of series, I remember against Pittsburgh, going along for the trip. I didn't play, but really, I mean that. If you're a rookie, it can get a little bit overwhelming. So I think the easy plan for the Kings would be, dump and chase, get in your face. I expect to see that. But as we've seen, the Oilers can respond, and I don't think they'll be intimidated. And I think they'll come out on fire. I really, really do. I'll be surprised if anything otherwise happens.
Well, and they figured out a formula last game. They basically just threw Connor McDavid on the ice every second shift. He got tapped 5 of the first, 8 shifts of the game. Gager. Like they basically just cycled him through, his own line and then the second line, and they just allowed Connor McDavid to will the team to an excellent start. And other guys were good as well, but I mean, 1955 in game 5 was not nearly enough ice time for him. He was well over 24 in game 6, Gager. I expect Connor McDavid, especially if Draisaitl is hindered, I think this is going to be a 23 to 26 minute night for McDavid, and that's the way it should be, and tons right off the start.
Well, I mean, if you're a coach, Ryan, and you had your choice of any current NHL player to start a game 7, who would you start with your pick? I mean,
yeah, of course.
I mean, I'd probably choose Vasilevsky, but I'm the goalie, right? But no, I mean, I bet you
Get out of
most
here.
guys would pick Connor McDavid in that situation. What is his saying? Ride or die, right? And when you have the best player on the planet at your disposal, I would say there's probably even more of a chance of upwards between 25 minutes, right? I remember there was a thing Glenn Sather said he liked to get Gretzky involved a little bit more, and he started double shifting him if he saw him having that type of game. And I'm 100% sure if there was a betting site on minutes that Connor McDavid would play, I'd take the over at 25. Tell you the truth.
Yeah, TR, you might as well ride him, eh? Like, why wouldn't you?
Oh, and that doesn't. I think McDavid is the best player in the league. Don't get me wrong, but that goes if I'd go with any team. Give me your top gun. This is what you're paid for. It just makes sense that you should be in shape by now, which you are. You're ready. You're paid. This is the moment, and you pay these guys. They're the face of your team to represent. Now go out and do what you do. Now, if you get unlucky, you get unlucky. But I just think it's a type of game that Connor McDavid got to go out and get like 10 shots on that. He's going to be rushing. And I would be putting him out there. Yeah, every second shift. And that would be my thinking as a coach with whichever team, whether it be Austin Matthews, Johnny Gaudreau, whatever it might be. I just ride them because it's the time they're paid to step up. And, this is, being clutch is part of what being a grown-up big boy hockey player is all about. Now go out and show us what you got because you're paid enough money.
Exactly. And I think for McDavid, it's important for him to keep those shifts a little bit short in the early going. Like I think where they get into trouble double shifting him is when he gets into those minute 15, minute 20s and then turns around and tries to go again, 60 seconds later. I thought he did a good job of keeping his first 10 minutes worth of shifts short. So they were able to get a bunch of different configurations. I want to talk about pressure. Todd McLellan had an interesting quote yesterday, and I will read this quote to you, and then I'll let you hear Jay Woodcroft responding to it today. So McLellan says, our pressure is what we put on ourselves. Their pressure it's enormous throughout oil country in Canada and the superstars and the media pressure and where they've been and what they want to do. So Todd McLellan firmly pointing the pressure focus on the Edmonton Oilers as we go back to our Average Joe soundbox. I fired that idea at Jay Woodcroft and asked him.
We think it's a privilege to play for our fan base. We think it's a privilege to be a proud Canadian franchise, and we're excited about the opportunity to win a game here on home ice.
Yeah, lots. The pressure is definitely different, TR, and I don't disagree with what McLellan had to say. There is a different pressure in a Canadian market in this spotlight, but home ice advantage is what these guys play all year for. And, you can't, I guess you have no choice but to embrace it and find the right place to put that pressure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And not only that, not only being a Canadian team with the players that they have and the expectation, but they're coming off disappointment, right? There's a lot of parallels with the Leafs if you want to go there. Like they're coming off disappointment. Like there's an elephant in the room here is that at some point these guys got to step up and now they're in their prime. And we got one game. We got 60 minutes now. It all comes down to all those games, the 82 games, the 8 exhibition, whatever, 90, 100 games now we're in with after almost 100 games here, right? Towards the end of the first round. And, it all comes down to 6 minutes. And after the first period, it's all going to come down to 40 minutes. And, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And for the way I look at the pressure, I mean, it's like anything, right? You get nervous energy. How are you going to harness that energy? Right? You can worry, you can bail, and I don't think that's going to happen, but you just have to harness it the right way. Pressure to me is funny. It's like, Gage, Ryan, like before a game, there's a nervous, like you got butterflies, and it happens a lot. Some games more than others. It might be the place you're playing. It might be the stakes in the game, right? It might be,
Yeah.
maybe you're going to get in a fight, or there's different reasons to have butterflies. But which is pressure, right? It's all the same kind of a feeling. But you can harness that the right way, man. I used to really kind of enjoy that, and there was a point that when the pressure got so big, I would just get in the. I was big into reading before a game. I'd take out a book and I would read it, and I would just be focused, and I would feed off it, no matter what kind of pressure it was. If I had 19 goals, I wanted 20, or like any kind of pressure, it all comes down to the same sort of way that you harness it. And this shouldn't be new territory, right? It shouldn't be. We hope that they win as Oilers fans. I guess you do, but it's coming off of a huge disappointment. At some point, they're going to have to turn that page, and hopefully it's time.
Gager?
It's funny how the way that you harness different situations is I'm reminded of how different games meant different things to me. But just looking at if you look at just the two Canadian teams, I'm just going to look at the Leafs and the Oilers. I see the Leafs pressure more of a history pressure, just like, not being able to get past this first round in so long. And so they're dealing with that back history. When I see the Oilers, yes, they've had some unsuccessful years in the playoffs, but I look at Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, it's more of a legacy pressure with them. Like, these guys are the top two players in the leagues stats wise. And so the last thing that these guys want to hear is they can't win the big one, right? Though that kind of legacy thing. What kind of player am I when it really matters? So I think there's obviously pressure on both teams, but I think it's a little bit different of as the way Todd McClellan put it with the fan base and stuff. I don't think that's really on the Oilers as much as it would be the Leafs.
What do you think about the pressure game between the two Canadian teams in Game 7s tonight, TR? Is it a lot different for the Maple Leafs, or does it come from a different place?
I think that was a fantastic point by Gager. That's true. It's true. It's similar, but it's not this. Like, I can see Toronto, like, it's more of this pressure building and generally the whole aura of the essence of the team. And of course, there are players that are under pressure there, but you're literally talking about, in a lot of people's minds, the best two players in the league on Edmonton, and legacy is important, and these guys know that. Similar, but kind of different. And again, what do you usually see out of these players? You're going to see a response. Can't guarantee a win or anything, but I see a big game from all the best players on both teams that we mentioned. I can see them stepping up tonight, and goal to assist, whatever it may be, few big hits, whatever. Like McDavid's, I can't remember. It was either game 2 or 3 when you asked me to come out and we talked about it. It was the most fascinating game I've seen all year by a superstar. He was hitting. He was in the corner grinding.
Yeah.
And then, the next shift going end to end. It was absolutely everything that you want to see out of a hockey player. And I just think he's going to bring that same sort of a game. Now, you might get sneak bitten around the net, and that might be unfortunate. And then, you just tip your hat. But I think that they're going to step up with a huge effort. And I really, really do think that Draisaitl is going to play.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on Draisaitl. It's going to take a lot to keep him out of the lineup. Like, I don't know about you, Gager. I thought that might have been the most complete game that Connor McDavid has played in the National Hockey League. I mean, start to finish, He was on it. And it wasn't just about piling up the points. I thought his attention to detail in his own end, his attention to detail in the last minutes when the net was empty, the way he backchecked, the way he willed his team to win. I spent a lot of time with the binoculars watching the bench. And I'm telling you, man, like during whistles, commercial breaks, Connor is as vocal as I've ever seen him be with his group. My understanding is he is really driving the bus in a different way as the captain of this team. It was evident in Game 6, Gager.
It's funny how we watch Connor, and he's so aware of the camera, I think, on him at times. So he watches what he says. I've never seen a player go to get a penalty and put his hand over his mouth while he's talking to the referee, right? He's just not giving a chance. But we saw it last year, Ryan, in Game 4 in the loss with the Jets. That was the first time that hard shell of Connor McDavid, he actually showed way more emotion and talking to, and then Start of the year, it was a little bit more, but yes, this is. I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. I think it's great when your leaders are vocal, and whether they're ripping you like everyone did to me last night, or congratulating people and bringing people into the fight. Man, that's when the best player in the world is, and it's through all these series. You hear all these guys. Connor's hitting guys in the corners, first guy back on the back check, staying on the defensive side of the puck. I mean, that like you said, Ryan, that game was something special from '97. Man, I'm getting pumped up. This is going to be exciting. It's I hope Terry can stay awake. It's going to be a late. I guess you're only in Montreal. You're fine. You can stay up for this one.
The guy keeps the waking hours of a vampire bat.
Oh yeah, I wasn't kidding. Now you know, I wasn't kidding, guys. I wasn't kidding. I take 2 hours here and there, whenever I can get it. Sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, that was awesome, guys. That was teeing up tonight's game, brought to you by the Quarry Golf Course, which is now open, 27 holes. It's got lots of variety for the long hitter, but they got lots of tee boxes. So if you're a shorter hitter or playing with somebody else that isn't quite as advanced, the Quarry definitely has your back. All sorts of different types of golfers. So I definitely encourage you to get out there and take a look. So, fellas, one of the things we wanted to do today was maybe get a little bit of listener interaction going. I still really haven't figured out how to monitor the comments live. I'll have to check with Dusty and see if he can show me how to do that. But I got an email today based on that answer I got from Jay Woodcroft. I wanted to share this, fellas. So this is from Steve St. Andre, president and owner of Redbox Plus of El Paso. So we'll give his company a little plug there. He says, Shogger, I'm glad Woody shut you down today. Learn how to ask questions that don't help out the opponent. You're brutal. Your stories don't matter. Winning game 7 does. That whole room asks the dumbest questions ever. You're all small town. Absolutely brutal. And I'm from Edmonton. That coming to us from Stephen St. Andre. So, Stephen, thank you for listening. Thanks. I'm sure you're on the live stream right now watching. Listen, we have to ask questions about the lineup. It's not my job to care whether it gives Los Angeles an advantage or not. Jay Woodcroft answered the question lightheartedly, kind of smart ass. I asked the question as a bit of a smart ass. So it was it's all good. It was a fun interaction between us. I get you're probably a stressed out Oiler fan, worried about the game tonight. So I will forgive the fact that you're acting like kind of an arsehole in this email. Pretty rude. I'm not sure who speaks to people that way, Stephen St. Andre, but it's a stressful day for you, so we will forgive you that one. I don't know, fellas. That felt aggressive to me, but, we got to ask the question.
I think Stephen St.
Andre, yeah, of course.
He's trying to get a spot in the next roast, I think, Ryan. That's all that is. We'll forward off to Kid Sport. There's Stephen, and we'll let you know, okay, bud?
Yeah, you can't just read the good stuff, right? Every once in a while, if someone wants to tee off on you a little bit, you got to give them the forum to do that. We did have a couple of other questions. TR, I will throw this one your way. Let's say Kulak plays tonight. Should they consider Kulak with CC again? And remember that when Nurse was hurt, Kulak played with CC, and they were really good last game. Would you keep them together, or would you put Nurse back with his regular pairing tonight with Cody Ceci if you were them, TR?
I think that might be what I would do. I might ask both players and see who felt comfortable. I don't know, man. Nurse was there for so long. I mean, that's something that can happen internally. Who am I to say? If it's me, I'd probably put Nurse back where he was. Yeah. But, those guys are big boys. They know what's comfortable. And sometimes it's a simple conversation. The coach sits down. Okay, guys, how should we approach this? It's not always just one person's decision. Like I said, I go with Nurse back where he was.
What would you do, Gager?
God, I liked that pairing, Ryan. I thought they were good with Kulak and Ceci. I liked the way that they were working together. And I think I would keep them together, put Nurse back with Barry. I mean, it's not like they haven't played together in the past, right? And tell you the truth, I've liked Barry's game lately. He's brought an edge to his playoffs here. So to me,
he really has.
Yeah, I would keep keep rolling with what works. I think, you can always go back to it if it whatever, but I think I'd go with.
Yeah, and
I think you might see a bit of both.
Yeah, that's a good point. And for the record, I mean, I'm assuming Kulak's even in, but this morning at practice, Nurse was back with Cece when they did their rushes, but Kulak was not on the ice. So we'll see if he's actually available to go tonight. The other thing with Kulak, guys, that I think maybe Oilers fans could feel a little bit nervous about here is I'm not sure where he got hurt or if he got hurt. There's always the chance that this is COVID related. And if that's the case, it doesn't become about gutting through it. The rules will be cut and dry. And so if it was a testing issue or something like that, then he just might not be available. I don't have that information. I don't know, but keep that in mind. That question came from Jerry Mancini. TR, he also added, Terry Ryan, congrats on your show. Very happy for you. Hope everything goes well. Always love hearing you talk. And Joaquin, great guy. Hope your roast went well. Did it for a great cause. Keep up the great work, Ryan. Love the pod. Well, Jerry, we like you a lot better than the last guy. Thanks, pal. Appreciate you chiming in.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, for sure. This was fun, guys. Before we let you go, TR, tell us about how was the premiere of Shoresy? I've watched the first couple of episodes. I'm a huge Letterkenny fan. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was awesome seeing you on there. How was the premiere yesterday, and how are you feeling about things?
It's really surreal. Like I said, I know I overused that word, but I just didn't envision this. Like I said, my first game in the NHL was overwhelming. It was such a great feeling, but I was a hockey player. I kind of expected that my whole life. I can't say I expected it, but it was a dream of mine. It was a goal. I envisioned it, but I just never saw myself in this game. I really became an actor maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And, it's just side stuff. I didn't realize, I didn't assume that this would ever happen. It was lucky. Jared Keeso, I can't say enough about him. He listens to my podcast. I didn't know that. One thing led to another that brought me here, and it's great people he's surrounded us with. It's there's a lot of real stuff going. I mean, we're a hockey team, and we're playing a hockey team.
Yep.
We're a bunch of hockey players so it really is. It's easy to come together with that team first kind of mindset because all of us are already. What I mean, we're already players. Jared Keeso himself played Junior A, so from that perspective alone, it's weird and surreal. Then to be at a TV series premiere that you're part of, I mean, in such a big way, I just never saw it happening, man. And I'm pinching myself 5 times a day because I'm a Letterkenny fan too. If I wasn't, maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal. But I'm a huge Letterkenny fan, and this show now to be on there. And I was kind of nervous, to be honest. I don't get really nervous much. You talk about pressure, though. The same kind of energy. That was the nervous energy I've had the last couple of days. Because I play, an exaggerated version of myself, really. But I mean, I'm really going, he let me pick whichever, there's different dialects in Newfoundland, and he let me pick one and go with it. And he really didn't put much leash on me. So a lot of it was like, how is this going to be received? Because I'm me, but I'm not, Hitch is his own person.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really pumped that so far, at least people seem to respond fairly well. So, hopefully fingers crossed for the future.
Yeah. Gage, are you a Letterkenny guy? Did you watch any of it? Because it's okay if you didn't, but you got to check out Shoresy, man. Shoresy is a show about a hockey player that we all knew. We all knew a Shoresy, a guy that was a dynamite player, super chirpy, loved the game, hated losing. If you haven't seen it, Gage, you definitely got to check it out.
I haven't checked it out. I am a massive Letterkenny fan. I always, while watching that, of course, being a former hockey player, I always loved the rink scenes. Like those were, I just couldn't wait to get in the rink and seeing the interactions on the bench. Just hilarious. Congratulations, Terry, man. I mean, we're both, Turan San was a really good friend of ours, and he raves about you. And I know I've only met you a handful of times, and out of those handful, I was probably too inebriated to remember any of the things we actually talked about. But you're salt
well, we
of
had
the
some
earth.
good guys. I remember the last time we hung out.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good.
Thanks, Gager. I appreciate it. So,
yeah. Hey guys, we got a bit of a bad delay happening, so you guys end up talking over each other. But the bottom line there, Gager is a big fan of TR. TR says thank you very much. It's just good to see good things happening to you, TR. We hope this show does great. It's just launched on Crave TV. If people want to check it out, it is called Shoresy. Hitchcock is Terry Ryan's character. Gager, way to go on the roast, my friend. Congratulations. I know you raised a ton of money. You guys are both awesome sports. Thank you for doing this. Maybe we'll be checking in the second round. We will have to wait and see. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks a lot for having. Go ahead.
One at a time. Somebody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm calling it. I'm booting you both off now. We're getting all gummed up here on the internet, so no stress. Thank you guys so much. We'll get all of these technical deals sorted out soon enough. TR, thanks, buddy. Take care. We'll talk to you real soon. Okay, well, a couple of bumps along the way, but what are you going to do, right? This was the Liberty Smart Securities Got Your Back live stream edition. Again, a reminder. Give Liberty a call, 1-866-926-7233, and use Oilers 97. That's Oilers 97 as a promo code, and you will get 4 months free. What a night of hockey it's going to be. Multiple Game 7s happening. Toronto Maple Leafs putting it all on the line, seeing if they can slay their demons. The Edmonton Oilers have a few as well. Are they going to be able to get it done and push through to the other side? McDavid is hungry. Draisaitl potentially hurt. The storylines are going to be juicy, as Evander Kane puts it. We won't know if Draisaitl's in the lineup till we get to the rink tonight. So keep an eye on my Twitter feed. I'll be there trying to update things. And thanks so much for joining us here on the live stream. You can download us. This is actually going to go right to podcast format as well. So you can download the podcast, and likely going to drop a podcast tonight after the game as well. So it's been a fun ride to this point. Thank you for your interaction. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for listening and paying attention. Enjoy the games tonight, whichever way it goes, Oiler fans. I'm glad that you get to experience this, because it's been a long run, and long-suffering Oiler fans deserve big moments like this. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you afterwards. This has been Got Your Back, the live stream edition, courtesy our great friends at Liberty Smart Security. Cheers, folks.